Drivers, start your engines!
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the iRacing Superspeedway for tonight's Veterans and First Responders race. Looks like we got a whole bunch of action to go through tonight as the season winds down. Not a lot of guys have showed up tonight, but we will try and work through this together and come out and see who's going to pull out on the lead. As you can see, Joseph Causey showed up tonight, Joshua Gaithright, Corey Harrigan, Robert Cochran, Sean Warab, Devin Zimmerman, Bradley Hunt, Nicholas Smith, and Jeremy Gaiman. So we only have 9 drivers tonight on this big super speedway, so maybe a few guys are running a little bit late and they'll be showing up, but so far we've only got 9, and we've got our top 2 or 3 in points right now. That's Devin Zimmerman out there. You take a look at Devin just rolling around here. Sean Warab is coming out in that PT1 cruiser car. And it's just me in the booth now. So it's another night of me talking you through all the action. We're going to try and get you to a couple of nice shots. Walk these guys through. It should be a nice tight race with 7 cars out there. The draft should be pretty tight, so these guys should run together. That's what we're hoping. You can see these guys getting around here and just under 45 seconds in the pack, and it's nice that Robert Cochran is also out there tonight. So he's leading this pack between Warab and Zimmerman right now. Got 10 minutes left to go in practice, so while we have that, let's go ahead and bring up some of our sponsors here. First up, we got McConey's Setup Shop for all your iRacing needs, from your Legends cars all the way up to the new F1 cars. If you have any trouble setting anything up, go to visit Jeff McConey at McConeyShutUpShop.com. He'll be more than happy to take care of all your needs. B&B Wraps, from coffee cups to semi-trucks. If there's anything that you need wrapped, B&B Wraps will be more than happy to take care of that for you. Please look them up, B&B Wraps. And Sunny South Raceway, our Victory Lane sponsor. Sunny South Raceway in Grandview, Alabama. They do everybody from youngsters all the way up to older adults. If you've ever wanted to race or get into racing, go see our friend Lonnie Mixon down there at Sunny South Raceway. And we thank Sunny South Raceway for being our Victory Lane sponsor. And last but not least is our Total Business Solutions. From payroll to time clocks to insurance to everything that you could possibly need for your business, please visit our friend over at totalbusinesssolutions.ne. They'll be happy to take care of all your business needs. And that wraps up our sponsorship portion of the program this evening, as we have 9 minutes left to go in practice. As you see these guys coming down off of pit road here. So they're going to get kind of get it all lined up, and everybody's going to go out together. So yeah, of course it is a drafting practice, and this is a drafting track. It is a super speedway. By all accounts, it is the largest one. This is a fictional track on any schedule. This is not found anywhere. This was part of the original Papyrus days, back when they used to run the Papyrus series and had NASCAR licenses. This was the Coca-Cola Raceway, and they converted it over to the iRacing Superspeedway. It was kind of like the direction that NASCAR was heading back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when all the crowds were out there. They couldn't, all the tracks were going this way, so they built this kind of a as a future thing and put it on the schedule a couple times. Since that fell through, now it's just the iRacing Superspeedway. So pay homage to them, and this is a long track, I believe. It's about 3 miles long. It's in the shape of a kind of like a large Martinsville, as you will. You got tight turns going in turn 1, but it's highly steep banking. I guess see we can get the gyro cam working. As you can see, it's very steep banking going through turn 1, so even though it's very, very tight, the turns are, you can still hold it flat out like you would in the super speedway. So it kind of creates a little bit of that. You're going to get more of a tug on the wheel, as you can see right there in Sean's car. That banking is just holding it right there. You are going to get more throwing radius out of this. Track. They're not big home or Talladega, but there's no Chiosa. So it's Martinsville, but very stretched out with a lot of background. So these guys are rolling around here. 6 minutes left to practice, and they really give any indication of where these guys are going to run tonight. Based on this, they're all just out there running together in a pack, and you pretty much see everybody out there that's in the field tonight. And Joseph Cossi is now leading this practice here. And yeah, getting really tight, rolling up on each other. That was definitely going to be shaken up tonight. As most of these drivers are now in the points battle, in the points lead. And they're fighting it out for 2 races left, I believe it's tonight. So hi Sharon, how are you tonight? Good to see you out there. Thank you, Jim. Jim's in race control as usual. We'll be watching all the action on the track. 10 gentlemen out there, so got a little bit of a feel. See how this one plays out as we get around here. Got about 5 minutes left of practice to go. We have some upcoming events here at TDR. We still got Pudjanowski races coming up. A bunch of you guys are driving for the Daytona race coming up on, I believe it's this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. That's a big thing that's going on here in the iRacing community. Take a look at Joseph Cossi, who's been winning a lot of these races, and his friend and compadre there, Devin Zimmerman, is just like right behind him, and as those two are working out. And next week we got Ethan Thompson, who came out tonight. He's going to be racing this, and like I said, there's no strategy. You just got to go out and race, put the board, and call it. Just hold it down. That's all you can do. It's all situational racing, where things happen on the track, and that's where you're going to end up. Right here. Pull down, try and get that draft on that back stretch. Getting there. That's what I'm looking with the draft practice. Right along with these guys. See how things are going. Finish on word. We'll take the right to the lap. little bit of a tap and a bump is Sean Warman. He's been top around. He's spinning down the back stretch here. But it is practice, so you're going to push the car a little bit harder than I think you normally would. Looks like we got 2 more cars coming out tonight, so 2 more have joined the field now. There's number 21, Paul Boffer. He's new to the veterans and first responders league. 21, good looking machine. Toyota, as he's rolling around, getting his laps in. He's got about a minute and a half left, and Chuck McDonald has joined the group. So now we're up to 12. So we just about got our full end of the year field here. About a minute 35 left. Chuck McDonald. Those guys are back down. So Bradley Hunt. And that Cowboys machine, I believe he was number 12 last week, but now he's number 1 tonight. So they start to roll off. Getting that last there. There's about a minute left of practice, so about 7 seconds left. So we're seeing coming down the front stretch here. There's Michael Green came out to play, so there's Michael Green out there in a Texas car. See him out here quite a bit. He's been having a little bit of a... Maybe he can string something together, get hooked up with a couple of these guys, and make his way to the front. We got about 23 seconds left of practice. Most of these guys are just pretty much set up, and they're just waiting to take the last of it here in practice. And now there's the checkered flag on practice, and you see Nicholas Smith hit the bottom of the track there and got a little loose and came up. So now we're going to go to qualify. It's going to be one of those nights where you either have it or you don't have it. It's going to be having friends and working your way to the end. And as you see, Zimmerman starting to take his lap. Cause is going to take his lap. So this isn't really where you're starting at. It's more of where you're finishing at. Because no matter where you start, you're always going to be a pack. You're going to need that pack racing. And because you take his lap now. Robert Cochran's coming out to take his lap. Herodius is coming up, take his lap. Everybody's just lining up. Getting what they can out of it. There's Sean Warren in the PT1. Charles Machine out there taking his lap. So, a couple guys out there. Taking their, I believe it's 2 laps. Get 2 laps of practice here. As you can see, Sean's going to take a medium to high on that first lap, just gain the momentum and then drop it down, most likely for into turn 1 and 2. So Sean's been pretty strong. Definitely been having a run. He can definitely pull up there and maybe get a win tonight. It'd be nice to see Sean pull one out. And he had a little bit of bad luck over last week. Got past at the end as there's Nicholas Smith. And coming out there. Taking his lap. now on top of the field, we got Devin Zimmerman in the 46.68. Joseph Causey right behind him. Chuck McDonald with his lap. And you should see these guys within a second of each other. There's really not going to be too much difference. As Robert Cochran pulls one, puts it right now in second spot. So Robert Cochran pulls up to gain the second spot. Robert, you see how he's taking his lap. Causey pulls back out to first. So Causey is done with his run. Devin Zimmerman's done with his. Coming around, maybe he's done with his run. 46 is our pole sitter and points leader. Yep, he's done with his run. Robert Cochran, who was in third, but there's Chuck McDonald back up there in second. So Chuck brings his Sean Warrob, who we watched. Now sits on the pole. So there's the pole here that we were watching. Sean pulls out a nice lap, puts himself on the pole so far. But it looks like Zimmerman and a bunch of those guys, Causey and Cochran, were all done. But you see it's only 3/10 in between first and ninth place right now. And 3/10 isn't really that much, especially at a big track like this. So it's definitely something that won't be an issue, especially when we get rolling here. Pack racing, it is going to be pack racing tonight for sure. So right now, as it sits, we have 6 minutes left to qualify. Sean Warrob is on the pole. He's bringing that machine back down in pit road. Watch the number 1 car, Bradley Hunt, take his lap. And Bradley Hunt takes his lap and brings it up to 7th, so he qualifies 7th. Take a look at Ethan Thompson. Looks like Ethan is going to went out a little bit later. Maybe he'll make a little bit of adjustment. So. See where Ethan brings it home at. Takes his lap. And it was a long way around here, that's for sure. That car is nice and tight. He looks really smooth, so Ethan has one. A heck of a setup tonight. Looks like he's very calm in that car, very smooth. If he stays that smooth, you're not going to need play, but he brings it home in 11th spot. 1.125 seconds behind, so as smooth as he was, that's surprising to bring it home over a second behind, but maybe he had an issue. I'm not sure. Maybe we saw something there. Didn't see something as we got 4 minutes left, and I believe I saw 2 other people that I don't see out here on the leaderboard yet to take their lap, so they may be starting in the back or not out on track. Maybe they're starting on pit road, not really sure. But as it stands right now, Sean Warrob puts it on the pole with a 46.41. Jeremy Gaiman brings it home in second for qualifying. So he's outside pole with a 0.05. So that's a 5,000th of a second. Got ahead of Devin Zimmerman, who qualified third. Chuck McDonald qualified fourth. Nicholas Smith, he qualified good in fifth. Joseph Causey qualified sixth. Bradley Hunt brought it home in seventh on the qualifying run. Corey Harris in eighth. Michael Green in ninth. Robert Cochran 10th. Ethan Thompson 11th. So right now we have 5.5 rows, and then if the other 2 show up, then we'll have more than another row or 2, probably 7 rows. It can race. It is a very racy track. So whenever we'll probably pretty much watch the leaders, watch the whole pack all night. I really don't see any reason why these guys would get too separated unless something happens in the beginning and the packs start to separate. But they should be able to stay together all night. Hey, Clugs, how are you out there? Doing good. We're just hanging out here and getting ready to have a good race with over 2 minutes left to go in qualifying session here. So as it sits right now, I believe Devin Zimmerman holds a very small points lead over Joseph Causey, who was gaining in points. And last week we had at Dover, there was a Zimmerman found his way back to victory lane. So with that being said, he extends his point lead just a little bit to hang off Joseph Causey. Joseph Causey, I think, had a little bit of wasn't a great night, but he ended up bringing it home, I believe, top 10. So he was able to maintain. So he's going to need to pull out another win with Devin Zimmerman. Nicholas Smith has been hopefully get his issues worked out, and we can see him out there racing tonight. He came home in a 5th spot, so qualifying 5th is very respectable. I know he had a couple of issues with steering wheel and a couple of technical problems over the past couple of weeks. So hopefully we got all that straightened out and he can get up there and race with these guys and see what happens. It's very interesting to see what happened to Ethan Thompson, because Ethan Thompson has shown speed. In fact, Ethan had good speed last week at Dover, and I ended up, I think, in a late wreck, or got caught up in some of that late race action, and actually no, I think he brought it home second. So Ethan Thompson definitely has the speed for it. Alright, so can anybody hear me now? Is that better, Jim? Alright, so now we're rolling around. We got 12 seconds left, and my ramblings are going on here as we can finally get set to get this action started. They should be qualifying is wrapped up. And we're going to be starting from pit road. So pit road is right outside of pit road. They're going to be lined up on the inside there. So we see these guys. There's Sean Warab, Jeremy Gaiman in the 0933 of Devin Zimmerman, the 04, Chuck McDonald, 66 of Nicholas Smith and Joseph Causey. Getting right behind the pace car. It's a good looking pace car there for the iRacing Superspeedway. Alright, well, we got 3 guys that did not pit or did not qualify, and that's Joshua Gathright, Marty Brown, who showed up, and Paul Vosberg. So there's a good look at Josh's car. These guys get lined up. So there's we saw the 21 of Paul Vosberg, the 41 of Marty Brown. Marty Brown, yeah, he's back out there tonight, so it's good to see him come back out. So we got 14 on the field. So glad to see these guys get out here and turn some laps, and as we go get ready to go racing here at the IRSS. Just waiting for the pace car to take off, and then we'll get this field lined up, go a lap or two, and then get underway. pretty sure that they have to, I mean, at least they usually make these things one stop. You're going to have fast repair. On the quick repair, just one, probably unlimited sets of tires. As we're finally getting the field rolling here, and you start winding it up, getting lined up to take the green flag. Go down in turn number 1. All right. They head down that long back stretch there. Got Sean Warab right there and Jeremy Gaiman. That's first and second. Third and fourth spot. Second row is Devin Zimmerman and Chuck McDonald. Third row is Nicholas Smith and Joseph Causey. In the fourth row, we have Bradley Hunt and Corey Harrigus. In the fifth row, Michael Green and Robert Cochran. In the sixth row is Ethan Thompson and Joshua Gaithright. And then rounding up the field is Marty Brown and Paul Vosberg. As the pace car is off, and they wind them up, and we're under green for 50 laps here at the IRSS. As you see Sean Warab bringing them down, trying to get lined up. Got double file. Gaiman gets to the high side, Zimmerman down to the low side. He's got help from Causey. Chuck McDonald now starting to get together with Gaiman up top. Maybe he can close that gap. Sure, once there's an opening, they're going to get down as the field gets spread out going down that back stretch. See Chuck McDonald fall in line. So you got Sean Warab, Devin Zimmerman, and Joseph Causey. 1, 2, 3. Jeremy Gaiman just found his way back down there. Causey looks a little bit high there. You got Corey Harrigus back there, number 12 machine. He's just hanging out. He gets a little bit high, but not enough room for Chuck to get back up to him. As these guys come down for lap number 2 of this 50-lap event. Pretty much getting... Oh, Zimmerman gets a little... Not sure if that might have got a little bit of aero push there. Going into turn number 1, kind of pushed him up the track a little bit. And now they're going nose to tail. So you got Causey who's going to be pushing Zimmerman. It looks like he's all over the back of Zimmerman there, giving him that big push. Sean Warab gets, Causey gets that arrow push and he gets pushed out of shape. So, and maybe something to look forward to as this race goes on, as these guys are getting definitely some arrow push, it looks like, going down into the turns. As we got Zimmerman looking on the inside now. But he falls back in line. Looked like he had a good little, tried to get a good little run going down there in turn number 1, but just fell back in line. Sean Warab now pulls it out. These guys are in a tight pack. Nicholas Smith falls off the pace. So Nicholas Smith fell off the pace early. He's about 6 seconds behind along with Paul, so you can see the back of the pack there. Those guys fell off the pace, lost the draft, so gonna have a little bit of while to catch up, maybe hopefully get a caution as these guys get lined up and start racing to the lead here. Maybe they'll be able to pull back up, but it isn't that bad. So far it's only a straightaway. If they can get together, they'll be able to form a pack and get together. So Sean Warab, Devin Zimmerman, Joseph Causey, Jeremy Gaiman, Corey Harrigus, Ethan Thompson are right there in that top pack. Chuck McDonald is also right there, but he's pretty much in that second pack. You got a pass on the outside as Zimmerman and Causey go high, which leaves Jeremy Gaiman down there with Sean Warb as they're going side by side along the back. And Zimmerman's got it going into turn number 3 here. So on lap 5 we have a new leader. Devin Zimmerman. Is Devin going to jump down? He does, and catch that draft and pull up to Sean Warham. But oh, looked like a little bit of a touch. Maybe that was just a little bit of a glitch there in the system. But I thought for a minute that our leader there was going to go a little for a ride, but he jumps back down in front of Sean Jeremy Gaiman right there. So we got 3 on the bottom side. Causey's looking high. He's got Chuck McDonald with him on that. And they're going to make a run going down. As Zimmerman's just playing blocking. He's getting on the outside, getting the inside. He's going to go high. He tries to pull Causey up and then jumps back down. Get in front of Sean Warb there. Now that Warb is, they got a little bit of breakaway here. So Warb's going to pull up with Zimmerman. And they're going to create a little bit of a separation, but then you got Gaiman and Ethan Thompson coming along the bottom as they get around Causey, and it's going to put Causey back to 5th. Going into turn number 3, Causey gives up that high line to jump back down. He's now under Ethan Thompson, but that's going to leave Chuck McDonald out there as Chuck goes high to low side, maybe waiting for that clear sign to jump back down, trying not to give an issue, but that's going to definitely leave Michael Green on the high side. So they're getting pushy and racy a little bit here as we taking a look, and Ethan Thompson is now getting on the back of Jeremy Gaiman and trying to get a push up to that front so he can get along the inside. Gaiman's going to pull right up to Sean Warren. So back off just a little bit, probably dragging that brake just a hair going into it, trying to keep that pack together, but the leader is the one that is going to be the one with the gas. If it does come down to a gas tank, he's going to be using most of the gas to lay on that gas all the way to the front all the time. These other guys can let up a little bit as they get racy. You see Ethan Thompson get really high going into turn 3. He's going to have help from Chuck McDonald as they go back around. So back stretch. And he falls back in line. Chuck McDonald falls back in line. They're still pretty spread out. At a disadvantage now. Marty Brown, Joshua Gaithright fell back as you see Warb gets pushed out of line. And he's going to get help from Chuck McDonald on the outside. The leaders now stay on the bottom. And Chuck will Warb get enough to come out and get that push. So almost, oh, there's a touch back here. 15 looks like he got a little bit loose and was touched back there by Robert Cochran in the back as those guys were getting lined up. But there seems to be a major push because everybody in the back, as soon as they go into those turns, is definitely getting that arrow push, and it's pushing them way up the track. As you see, Gaiman got high, now he's jumping back low. So it's going to be, they're trying to get whatever they can, and Chuck McDonald's going to pull back up to Gaiman. They're going to get together and try and come back up and catch those leaders now. As Devin Zimmerman, Joseph Causey, there's that push as Ethan Thompson goes back underneath to reclaim that second spot, and Causey's going to just get out of line. He's going to fall back, probably fall back in behind Orb. Looks like there's a little bit of a gap there. So now Ethan Thompson moves up the second spot, pushing the leader, Devin Zimmerman. And in third spot now you have Corey Harrigan. As you see back there again, Michael Green gets high. So I'm not sure if he's just can't keep it down or what's going on there, but you see Chuck McDonald going up, and there's Robert Cochran's going to try and jump up there and try and pull him up to him. there you see Michael Green. Seen a few shots where he's down at the bottom, and all of a sudden he jumps up to the outside. So not really sure where his car is handling right now, but maybe he can go and get some stop after make a couple adjustments, come back out, and for the second half here, as we got 11 down. Then we got 3 wide racing in the back there as Jeremy Gaiman takes a 3 wide with Sean Warb and Joseph Causey. Causey in the middle. Warb in the middle. Causey to the bottom. As they get her in there is Robert Cochran who comes up. So it looks like Warb's just going to be a victim of the fall back there as he gets in the middle and didn't have any help. That's going to push Michael Green back up to 9th. So the top 10 are all together, top 9 are all together, and they're just swapping position. But I don't think it's anything anybody's really trying to do. It's just a product of it gets in and then they get really tight, as you can see right there between Michael Green and Sean Warb. Warb just gets that arrow push, and it just pushes them up the track. Things seem to be sorted out in between Devin Zimmerman and Ethan Thompson right now. These guys are just rolling around. These are sorted out. They got single file line, so it's 13 of 50. And as we see Gaiman again get on that high side, so Gaiman's and Robert Cochran are door handle there as they go into turn number 3. Gaiman goes high. He's gonna be a victim of that inside line. He's gonna have to fall back in line here behind Sean Warb as we got Chuck McDonald coming up in the tail end there. So there's Chuck just now gaining up. He's got that pack, so these guys racing, getting side by side, he was able to pull back up because he did fall back to a little over a second and a half there a while ago. Now he's right back up to within a second of the leader. So we roll around here, 14 of 50. Evan Zimmerman still out front. Ethan Thompson second. Corey Harrigus in third. Causey in fourth. Robert Cochran moved up to fifth. And then Michael Green moves up to sixth. So Michael Green, who is back there, and that's the shot that we normally see. He gets, I'm not sure he can hold it on that bottom or he just gets that arrow push, but he gets up, and now we got a battle on between Gaiman and Michael Green and Chuck. We're rolling that now into turn number 3. So Devin Zimmerman is leading the way. He's led at lap 3 or 4. Took the lead, maybe 5. Took the lead from Sean Warb and hasn't given it up since. As Ethan Thompson slams the door on Causey there. That was a brave little move by Thompson to put it down there. And as you see, Causey just gives him a little bit of a nudge and moves him up out of the way to that upper groove. So Causey is now going to get underneath, and he's going to hook up with Zimmerman. And down in turn 1, that's going to bunch these guys up a little bit more, kind of create some 2 and 3 wide racing, which we saw before. Nobody's really getting away. So if somebody wants to hook up with Zimmerman, it looks like the top 2 or 3, 4, starting to pull away a little bit from Corey Harrigus, but not by much. It's only about 2/10. Oh no, Cochran saw him just touch that apron. He gets his car a little bit up, as that's going to pull Jeremy Gaiman back around. And he's going to fall back now as Michael Green is going to move up to 8th. And I'm sure Robert's heart's beating a little bit faster right now, but he gathers that machine back up underneath of him and gets it going again. So that was kind of a hairy situation there for a moment, but good save on Robert Cochran's part, as these guys are now getting separated a little bit more here. You got Zimmerman, Causey, Ethan Thompson, Corey Harrigus. As Ethan Thompson looks like he might have just tapped that inside line. That shot him up the track a little bit. And number 12 car is Corey's getting he was a little squirrely coming out of that turn, so I'm not sure if he's got aero issues going on at the present moment, but I guess we'll watch and find out. Yes, now he gets a run underneath Ethan. Ethan goes top side, and that's gonna. Corey Harrigus is gonna bring Joseph Warab back up, so Warab is now back up to 4th spot as he gets around Ethan Thompson, as Ethan's been having a little bit of an issue going on. Warab now dives down underneath, and it's gonna looks like it's gonna go 3 wide, but oh, Thompson gets high. I'm not sure if he scraped the wall, but he got really, really high coming out of that turn, so looks like he's okay. He's going to gather it back up, but that was another scary situation. Watch Ethan Thompson battling now as he gets back there with Corey Harrigus, and this is for the 5th position. 5th and 6th position is their. But he just has no help right now, so he's going to fall back in line right behind the 09 and Jeremy Gaiman, so he's going to fall back to 7th right now. There's that little bit of a gap, as you see, now forming Michael Green. As these guys are falling a little bit behind, so Green, Chuck McDonald, who was up there earlier battling with that top group, they fell back, as you see them, that gap in between the lead pack and that second pack that's forming. Michael Green's leading them with Chuck McDonald and Robert Cochran, who had that little bit of an issue. So those guys are getting racy back here. Cochran goes underneath, try and pull that spot away. McDonald, I'm sorry, McDonald goes underneath. Cochran joins in line underneath with Michael Green on the outside. So these guys can get hooked up. They might be able to catch back up to those leaders, but running side by side and racing each other really isn't going to be the way to go. So we're 20 of 50 coming up in 5 laps. We'll be halfway there. The leaders pretty much settled it out. They're getting single file and starting to pull themselves out over a 3-second lead. About 3.5, almost 4 seconds. That separate that first pack to this pack here. And leading that third pack, we have Marty Brown. And Marty Brown has help with him, so Marty Brown and Paul Valsberg are kind of hooked up together. So and the number 1 car, Bradley Hunt. So Bradley Hunt is just where those guys are. If Bradley can just get in line, those 3 might be able to form up. And we had Joshua Gathright went 1 lap down in the pits, so I'm not sure where what happened with Gathright. He must have got involved in an incident. So see Ethan Thompson there at the tail end of the lead left, trying to get back up there. These guys are forming single file, coming down to put 22 on the board. So that front pack now is right there and all on your screen. So you see Devin Zimmerman, Joseph Causey, Sean Warab, Corey Harrigus, Jeremy Gaiman, Ethan Thompson are your leaders, and looks like Sean Warab is just trying to stay with Causey and Zimmerman, and if he can do that, they might be able to pull away a little bit. As you see, there's a little bit of a separation now in between Warab and Harrigus as we come down on lap number 23. Guys seem to be putting it single file line right now, and they're just getting laps underway here. As you see, we're rolling down, just knocking off laps. Oh, Sean Warab looked like he got on the bottom side there. That's pushed him up a little bit, and that's going to be Corey Harrigus' opening to bring Jeremy Gaiman and Ethan Thompson back up with him. So Sean Warab looked like he just touched that inside line, and that pushed him up the track. So he's going to fall back to the end of that. Hopefully he's not going to lose the draft. Looks like he's going to get back in line and be able to pull it right down, but there's been a lot of yeah, they're keeping it on that yellow line. And if you do that, as you can tell, all you gotta do is just put that left front tire, and it'll put you right, and that'll shoot you straight up that track, and that's what we've been seeing. So these guys have been really, really good as far as collecting it back up and getting it on the way. Now I got to report that Marty had some pedal issues, so that's why he's falling back a little bit. So sorry to hear about that, Marty. As we're rolling back up with the leaders here, Zimmerman's got I pulled away a little bit, but I'm not sure if that's a good decision or if Causey's going to fall back and try and catch the rest of those guys and collect them back up, so that way they have a longer train and maybe get a good run and try and get by Zimmerman here, or at least keep that lead pack together and create a separation. These guys are just riding in line. And then that second group back here, a little over 4.5 seconds behind, is led by Chuck McDonald. So Chuck and Robert Cochran and number 15 and Michael Green, they're all hooked up, so they finally got their hook issues worked out, and they're about 4.5 seconds behind, and they are catching. As you can tell on this chart over there, they're about 4.5, and then they gain to about 4, and just under 4.5. So it's about a maintaining right there, but they can get hooked up, nose to tail, they may be able to pull back up there. And then back in our third pack, we have Marty Brown, Bradley Hunt, and Paul Vosberg. So there's Paul Vosberg and Marty Brown. They're just about 10 seconds behind our leaders at the present moment. And there's Bradley Hunt, who's just trying to stay with them in that Cowboys machine. So guys are just trying to knock out some laps as we're coming up on halfway this time by. So at the line, we're officially halfway there as we roll down the back stretch here at ISS. We should be looking at about in pit stops probably within the next 15 laps or so. I would imagine these guys would start to think about either taking gas. They may consider going longer. I believe it's just over, or it's about a 3-mile track, so about a half mile longer than Daytona and Talladega. So I'm assuming about right around lap 40 to 42 is when we're going to start seeing some pit stops to go the rest of the way. They're not going to be able to go, I'm sure, full run. We're past halfway with 23 laps to go. Devin Zimmerman leading the pack, as we see there is first one down, and yep, here come the leaders on the pit road. So Devin Zimmerman looked like he was about ready to stay out, and then Causey jumped down, so Zimmerman went with Causey there. So Causey kind of dictated that move, as well as the 12 of Corey Herrig is coming down pit road as well. So they're going to get their stops here. And that's going to put Sean Warren out at front. So oh no, it looks like some gas right sides. Nicholas Smith comes down. 12 machine had an issue there as he got on the pit road. So see Sean Warab now coming down, and he's going to bring his machine down the pit road. Gets it woed up. Locks on the brakes. That's definitely not good for those tires, that's for sure. It's nice to see Warab, Jeremy Gaiman down pit road. They come down for their stop. Ethan Thompson's in for his stop. So everybody's coming in for the stop. That's going to leave the lead now to Chuck McDonald, who's going to bring it around. And I'm sure he'll be pitting any time now. So just over halfway. As they get around Devin Zimmerman, that's going to put him one lap down. But by the time the pit stops off their figure around, it'll be back to the way it was with the running order before they left. except for one little thing, and that's going to be Joseph Causey. Looks like he is out in front of Devin Zimmerman right now. So yeah, Chuck McDonald, Robert Cochran, and Michael Green are the top three. Michael's fallen off the pace a little bit here, so he may be getting ready to come down for a pit stop. Chuck McDonald as well, and Robert Cochran, I'm sure they'll be coming in for their pit stop in the next few laps. Because now they're getting around Warb there, Sean Warb, and here's Causey going around Warb, so Causey's going to get around Warb, and that's when it cycles back through, and there they come down. So Chuck McDonald comes down the pit road, and Robert Cochran comes down the pit road, and wow. Oh no. Wow. Michael Green hits the wall coming into the pit. So he really locked them up and really got. So you can see here as he comes down, and I'll rewind this just a little bit, but Michael Green comes down, locks them up, and just gets loose and tries to gather it up under control and just smacks pit road. So he's going to get his service. Oh, looks like Robert Cochran got a little bit squirrely coming out of pit road. They're fighting. So yeah, wow. That's going to, right now, Chuck McDonald still holds the top spot, but that's before these guys roll around. I'm sure it's going to be Joseph Causey. Ethan Thompson was up there ahead of Causey, so that would put Ethan Thompson. Sure, by the time it all shows strings out here, Ethan Thompson's going to be your new leader. You see Jeremy Gaiman there. He's in 10th. He must be just under a lap. Well, maybe a lap down. I'm not really sure where we're all going to come out here, but we'll just kind of watch the timing and see where it all plays out. Yep, and there is Ethan Thompson as we roll back around with 18 laps to go. Ethan Thompson is shown your leader right now, and there's Jeremy Gaiman who's a lap down, and Joseph Causey is right behind him. So right now something should happen. Jeremy Gaiman would be the lucky dog, get back on that lead lap, but as it stands, he's the first car to lead a lap down and running with the leaders after everybody goes through the pit stop. Joseph Causey is now back up front as we see Ethan Thompson battling. So to try and get hooked up, and then the third spot is Sean Warb right there in the number 7 machine right behind Jeremy Gaiman on the shot. So he's going to try and get hooked up. So these fields, their pit stops really drew this field apart. Devin Zimmerman, who is now 4 seconds behind after that pit stop. We'll take a look back at Devin, looking back at the front. So he's got a, that's his view of what he can see, but can't really see too much of the leaders right now, 4 seconds behind. So he's just trying to roll around there, maybe get hooked up with somebody. That's a lonely feeling, I can tell you that, sitting out there all by yourself. No help. Got separated, and he's definitely going to be feeling that a little bit later. But 4 seconds behind the leaders, and back to Chuck McDonald is another 11 seconds. So he's got a little bit of a while to wait. So that's one person that I'm sure was hoping for a caution that would come out. Now Ethan Thompson rolls around, and Joseph Causey. So those two got hooked up, and Sean Warb is right there. He's just got to get up, catch that draft off of Jeremy Gaiman, get around him, get back up to those leaders. Try and fight his way around, but we got 16 to go. Brings it back to the line, 15 to go. So the running order is Ethan Thompson, Joseph Causey, and Sean Warb in top 1, 2, and 3. So we look at these. You know, it looks like thought maybe Warb going to try and go under Gaming, but Jeremy just keeps low. He's just keeping that draft, and nothing really to gain or lose right now. If Sean wants to get by him, I'm sure we'll let him know, because these guys do talk to each other, and they have good communication. But also at the tail end of this pack, as we can see, is number 1 machine, Bradley Hunt. So Bradley fell to 2 laps down, and he's just hanging with the leaders right now, and maybe try and hope for something as they come up on Nicholas Smith, who's at the running in the A spot, and he's the last gentleman on the lead lap. Look back, and there's the gap that we have to those leaders coming up on him. So right now, Nicholas Smith, he would have to stay in front of these leaders, and stay in front of Jeremy to get that lucky dog if the leaders do get around him. As of now, you see that gap slowly closing in as those leaders are pulling up. Look at the back of Ethan Thompson's car is where he sees Cozy goes a little bit high. Sean's going to go a little bit with them. Behind them Gaming. Jeremy Gaming's just holding that low line, trying to get some help back there from the number 1 machine. And Bradley Hunt, and those two can get together. And there's that push. Hello, suspension. How are you? Everything looks good, so we can report back to Joseph Cozy that suspension looks good. You might want to have that through tech, because you should have seen the back bumper, not a suspension going through there. Now we're rolling down with 12 to go as Sean Warb gets around Joseph Cozy. It's going to bring him the 2nd spot, and 3rd spot is Joseph Cozy. Devin Zimmerman's falling to 8 seconds behind, so just no help whatsoever out there at the present moment, but you never know. It's racing, and until the green flag fall or the checker flag falls, we don't know what's going to happen, as we've seen at Pocono. So right now we got Ethan Thompson, who has a good run going, and Cozy's getting racy. He wants a shot at that front top spot, so he's pushing anybody he can. So it's getting really, really racy out there for Cozy at the present moment. Joseph Cozy just pushing the back of Sean Warb. They catch back up on Ethan Thompson and get that air push, and you can see that just how wide the track is. And those guys basically take up 3 lanes, and there's still room to go. So you can probably go 4 or 5 wide here comfortably all the way around the track if it came to that. Ethan Thompson's going to bring him down. Back at the line. It's going to be 10 laps to go with Sean Warb. It's been a very clean race. No cautions have flown. The only thing that separates the field is pit stops and getting into the pit road. As now we look at Cozy going on the high side of Sean Warb as he gets back down in the slows. Sean Warb in that 2nd spot, just going to hold it down there. Tuck in right behind Ethan Thompson. So look back at Devin Zimmerman, still doesn't have any help. He's 10 seconds behind the leaders, and just a helpless feeling. So there's your points leader, just watching the crowd go by, and it looks like he's got a little bit of help coming, but with 10 laps to go, maybe a little bit too little too late at the present moment if things remain green. Come back out front with these guys racing up front for the lead as Ethan Thompson brings it down. 9 laps to go this time. There's a little bit of a separation there. Now we got just over half a second in between first and third. And Jeremy Gaiman and Bradley Hunter falling back off of this pack. There seems to be more separation now, so something that you really don't see too much of, but you can see Cozy gaining a little bit of momentum as he's catching that track, so he's getting a bigger run. more of a run than the top two are getting away from him. So he's going to pull back up there. He's going to pull right back up to Sean Warb and try and give him at least one last push, maybe to get around. You can see him just closing that gap now. Gaiman's got a good run coming up, so him, Gaiman and Hunt are now pulling back around. Sean Warb goes high. That might be an arrow push deal. He gets back down underneath. Causey's going to fall back down and see if he can get that run now. He's going to have some help from Gaiman as Causey's going to take the high side. Nope, Sean looked high for a moment and then jumped back down on the low side, but where are we going to go? Causey and Ethan look like they touch, and that sends Causey up the track. It was a very mild touch if there was anything. But Causey has no help on the outside. Ethan Thompson back to the line and 7 laps to go is still your leader. But Sean Warb is right there, so he got that position back from Causey as they roll around with 7 to go. Jeremy Gaiman, Bradley Hunt there, just kind of watching this all unfold in front of them. And Causey falls back again, so saw it before where he fell back that far and then got a run back up and was able to pull right beside Ethan Thompson. So if he can get together and have Gaiman go with the outside, Causey may have a shot at getting back up there and taking over the top spot. Got 6 laps to go now at the line. And there's that separation that we're starting to see. So each separation, each lap they get a little bit of separation, get that run going and pull back to each other. But now you see Causey just close that gap again. Now Sean going to go try the outside here. You know that Causey would like to go to the outside. At least he showed that on the last run. He took it to the outside, but Sean went low. So maybe Causey's trying to do the bait him high, and then he'll jump down underneath and pull up and take second spot. Ethan has a really good run going, so 6 laps to go as we're going down to 5 now. 5 laps left in this event. Still 1, 2, 3. Throw a blanket over those guys. We get a little bit separated, pull back up to each other, and we saw that there was a run that was made, but that might have been a little bit too early, so maybe Joseph Causey showed a little bit of his strategy there early, or just took the line and tried to see what he could get, see if he had any friends that were going to go with him, and realized that when that didn't happen, I'd fall back in line. But here we go again. Causey just shoots to that outside line, tucks back down. Gaiman went with him that time though, so Jeremy did jump to the outside. When Causey went up there, as we're rolling through 4 laps to go, and there's Causey looking high. Warb went up there to block him, and then Causey jumped back down. So that might have been what guy could have been alluding to earlier, where he was trying to bait him to the outside and then jump down low. So 4 laps to go. You really can't hold on too much longer before you start to make a move. If you're going to go, you got to go. Maybe with 2 laps to go. Definitely last lap is a lap that it's all out at that point. You have to let out all the stops. You have to see who your friends are at that point and who's going to go with you. As Gaiman and Causey get hooked up on the outside, I think Causey finally realized that he may have help. So we're going to take out Causey and Gaiman as those two fall back in line. I thought they were going to get a run on the outside, but didn't have enough there going into turn 1. As Ethan Thompson now is really leading these guys and having one heck of a run. 3 laps to go. So that momentum from last week at Dover is definitely carrying Ethan Thompson into this race. As Sean Warb been looking really racy past few races and finally putting something together. So it should be a very exciting finish coming up with 3 to go. You got Joseph Causey, who's been class of the field got 5 wins on the season. We got Ethan Thompson, who's been there knocking on the door sometimes. Sean Warb, who's been getting consistently a little bit better. He's shows his consistency and knows how to roll around these guys. Taking it down with 2 to go. And there's a couple of hungry guys up there in the front. That's for sure. And I'm sure Joseph Cossi wants to get this one as well. Make up some of that points deficit that he got from Devin Zimmerman. Devin Zimmerman's still in 4th spot in the back, but these guys are getting really lining it up. And this is it. Last lap. White flag is out on the raceway as we roll down into turn number 1 for the last time. Causy's got a good run coming. Going to pull down up to Ethan Thompson. Ethan Thompson had a little bit of a good run. Causey looks high. Ethan's going to guard that low line. Sean Warb is falling back. I'm not sure, but he's getting, looks like he's getting a run, so it could come down to who's got the better run coming out of 3. Causey to the outside. Warb's looking to the inside. Is Causey going to shut the door? No, Causey's going to leave that room open, but Jeremy Gaiman comes down underneath Sean Warb. Ethan Thompson is going to bring it home. Sean takes one last stab at it, but it's Ethan Thompson at the line. Sean Warb second. Joseph Causey third. Devin Zimmerman's going to bring it home in 4th today. Chuck McDonald's going to bring it home 5th. Michael Green 2nd. Or 7th. Or 6th, I'm sorry. Michael Green is 6th. Robert Cochran 7th. Jeremy Gaiman, who we saw up at the lead pack, brings it home 1 lap down. And 8th. Nicholas Smith 9th. Paul Vosberg, who was a newcomer, brought it home 10th. So that was a good run for him. Joshua Gathright, the 89 machine, bringing it home 1 lap down. In 12th, Corey Herrig is 13th. Bradley Hunt brings it home 14th. So that is your field as we... Man, Ethan had one heck of a run there to bring it home in the top spot. So see if we can... What a race, huh, guys? All right. That was a fun one. See if we got Ethan Thompson here. Try and get a hold of somebody to talk to. That does not look like I can get Ethan down to talk to him, our race winner. Not Sean Warb. Anybody. All right, well. Unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have to... let's see, can I get... No? Alright, well, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get somebody down here to talk to. If anybody is out there in YouTube land, they can tell them to jump down to the booth. That would be great so I could talk to them, especially Ethan Thompson. That would be wonderful. I am sorry, I do not have that ability at the present moment. So if we could do that, that would be great. I'd love to talk to Ethan Thompson. Sean Warb. Let's see, can I get Causey? Alright, I got Causey. So let's see if we can bring Causey up here and talk to him and see his race. See how that went. So, Joseph, this is Jay up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Oh, not too bad.
Not too bad?
Not too bad.
That was one heck of a run you had there at the end.
Yeah, I was trying to make something happen. I wanted the race. I didn't want to just stay in this single file line. I tried to show the 7, hey, come on, let's get up here. Let's try to go around and let's do something. But, you know, it is what it is. They've killed this car to where it's so hard to make things happen. And you got to have help to make it happen. And I was starting to kind of figure out how to, you know, if I took a dive on the, you know, what you call it, on the turn, and then tried to open up the turn when I came out. I was kind of getting good runs because I wasn't what you call it, pressuring the wheel to stay down at the bottom. So I was trying to, I was getting little runs here and there. So I was trying to figure that out, but it didn't work in the end. So
Right, but you did put on one heck of a show out there. You were looking high, looking low. I saw the last few laps. You looked high, and I wasn't sure if you were trying to bait Warb to go up there with you to try and get that run, or and then dive back down the inside, because he kind of went with you at one point and then just dumped down the inside and kind of left you out
yeah,
there. So not sure if you
I was
were trying to do there, but it looked pretty interesting from up here.
I was trying to make him do something. I was trying to get him to go with me. I was like, come on. I was hoping he would go with me so he could try to make something happen instead of staying in the single file line. But, it is what it is. Having no caution, you ain't going to get much leeway of trying to make something happen.
No, that's for sure. Well, congratulations on bringing it home third. That was one heck of a run. Fortunately, I don't have the ability to talk to the top two spots at the present moment, but you had a good run. You hung out there, and how was your pit stop? Your pit stop looked pretty smooth. Did you take 2 tires, 4 tires?
I took 4. I didn't know how the tire wear was going to be. I probably should have just took the 2 and filled it up with fuel and took less fuel. Probably we could have got up out in front of them, you know.
Right.
But I ended up taking the 4, took a full fuel tank. But man, I got in there pretty solid. Let's see, what, 38.7 in and out time. So Ethan had a 33.9, and Sean had a 35.9. So I mean, for 4 tires, that was pretty solid. They probably only took 2 or only fuel, and that's it.
Right. Well, congratulations yet again, and that should have tightened up your points lead now to, or the points anyway, between you and Devin
Yeah,
going into the last.
I don't think I'm gonna catch them.
No, it was only one spot, but it was, hey, to finish ahead of them, So you're still leading that battle this year. You one up them again.
Yeah, him and Ethan are too far out for me to go after. I'm gonna be lucky if I could catch the third, if I can.
Hell, you've been doing all you can, that's for sure. So all your wins this year, and then bringing it home, you've been very consistent. So it's fun to see you race out there. And it's fun to talk to you every week. And congratulations once again. So I'm going to put you back up there and see if I can talk to somebody else up here. And have a good week, and I'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right. So let's see. See if we can get the leader. Ethan, this is Jay up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Hey, how are you tonight? Congratulations on your win. Welcome to Sunny South Raceway, Victory Lane.
I'm good, thanks.
Man, it was one heck of a run you had. After that pit stop, did you take 2 tires, 4 tires? What got you out up front?
No tires and not a full tank of fuel, I think, is what did it.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, and you held those guys off at the end. Were you like mirror driving there, trying to figure out what those guys were doing, or were you just trying to stick it on the bottom and let them get around you on the outside if they needed to?
I wasn't having to do too much mirror driving, just a little bit, just to make sure that, no one was trying to peek a nose in on the straightaways, but that was pretty much it. With the way that the package is here, unless you really have, you can't get by anybody unless they got 2 cars anyway. So as long as I held the bottom, it was going to be pretty hard for anybody to get by me.
Well, they gave it a shot, that's for sure. So they were all over. You were pretty much down at the bottom, and we saw Josh and Sean a couple times try and take that high side, but you held your own. So that was a good run for you. I'm glad to see you brought it home in Victory Lane.
Yeah, thanks.
So, have any shout outs, any sponsors you'd like to say? Thank you for your service. We appreciate that. You were consistent last week.
Yeah, just mainly shouting out to you guys for putting it on every week. Oh. Everybody else that shows up that makes it fun.
Right? Did they give you a little bit of a run tonight? Make your heart race a little bit there at the end? Maybe?
Yeah, there was a couple times where I was wondering, if Causey was going to have a shot. He got up there to me a couple times, but and then Sean would get back by him, and then the two of them kind of switch spots a couple times. But um, Sean and I were pretty determined to work together throughout the majority of this race. So um, I think that if it came down to it, of course, if Sean had the opportunity, he would have taken a shot at it. But I wasn't too concerned about Causey knowing that Sean and I had a good thing going.
Right. Well, once again, congratulations. Welcome to Sunny South Raceway Victory Lane. I'm going to let you celebrate this win, and I think that's your first win on the year for this season anyway. So congratulations on that, and a heck of a way to start in January. Get a win. That tightens the points battle up. I believe you and Zimmerman are getting closer in points. So a couple races left. Are you looking forward to the next two and battling it out? You all set?
Yeah, I don't even know where we are. Honestly, I haven't looked at the schedule, but it'll definitely be tight. These last three races here, or what is it? 2 races, 3 races?
Yeah, I think there's 2 races left. So
yeah.
But man, what a run tonight. So I'm going to put you back up there with everybody. Thank you for joining me in Victory Lane, and congratulations, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks again.
You bet. All right, so as we talk to our leader there, or our winner from Sunny South Raceway Victory Lane, Ethan Thompson brings it home in first spot, held off Joseph Causey and Sean Warb. So we'll see if we can get Warb up here in the booth and get his perspective on things as we wrap this up for this evening. Sean, this is Jay up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys loud and clear.
Hey, how are you tonight? That was one heck of a run.
Yeah, it was. It was it was definitely fun there at the end. But yeah, I'm glad I finished second.
Yeah, you brought that Air Force Jaws machine, as I like to call it, home in second. Looks like you were looking high, looking low. What was your strategy going into the pit stop there? Did you take 2 tires, 4 tires?
Actually, I took 2, and I think I was the only one that did it. And my strategy was kind of just whatever group I ended up with at the time I needed to pit, I just went with them. So I ended up going with, I think it was Ethan and Jeremy. And Jeremy got a speeding penalty, and then me and Ethan kind of made it out, separated. But I ended up catching the draft of the people that were kind of straggling behind and caught up to them. So,
well, it looked good from up here. Now, I saw you and Causey several times swap position, and it looked like the car was getting, I'm not sure if it was an arrow tight, because there were times that you were like right behind somebody, and then everybody would just like shoot up that track. Is that what you guys were experiencing out there? Was an arrow tight or an arrow push? Or
oh yeah, once these tires fall off, you definitely get some tightness. I think a lot of the mistakes, especially for me at least, was when I was directly behind somebody, couldn't see the entrance of the corner, and I didn't time it right and shot my car up the track. But yeah, I think a lot of people were struggling with that, being able to see the entrance of the corner and being able to time it and get to the bottom of the track.
And then there at the end, those last like 4 or 5 laps, it looked like Causey was trying to get you to go high, and you stayed with Ethan pretty much most of the time, unless some of them pulled you up. Did you have any plans on trying to maybe make a run on Ethan with Causey, or were you just pretty much sticking with Ethan and going from there?
Oh yeah, me and Ethan were definitely sticking together, at least until that last lap. Obviously, last lap, anything goes. But yeah, I was definitely trying to hug the bottom. I saw Causey, he got by me. I think it was like the third to last lap, up high. But I've raced here before, and I've seen the high line doesn't really work unless you get a whole bunch of people going with you. So yeah, I was definitely trying to stick the bottom and then stick with Ethan as well. But obviously, I would have tried to win it if I was in that position to do so.
Well, it looked good. Very racy out there. So these guys had a nice clean race, another clean one. Green the checkered with no cautions. Everybody stayed out of trouble from what we've seen. And bump drafting didn't seem to be too much of an issue. I saw there was a couple of times when Causey got into a pushing situation just to try and push everybody. But other than that, everybody kept their nose clean. And congratulations on bringing it home second. Good to see the you have a good run tonight.
Yeah, thanks. And once again, guys, I appreciate you guys putting this on. I'm sure everyone else does, but it's really fun, and we appreciate all the effort you guys do.
No, we appreciate you guys coming out. We appreciate your service and everything that you do for us. So thank you once again. All right, I'm going to put you back
Thank
up
you,
there.
guys.
You bet. I'm going to put you back up there. Hopefully, I can move you up there. Sorry. And then from there. All right, so that wraps it up from iRacing Superspeedway here, as Ethan Thompson brings it home in the top spot. Sean Warb comes home second. Joseph Causey third. Devin Zimmerman brings it home in fourth. Chuck McDonald fifth. Michael Green sixth. Robert Cochran seventh. Jeremy Gaiman eighth. Nicholas Smith ninth. Paul Vosberg brings it home 10th. Marty Brown 11th. Joshua Gathright 12th. Corey Harrigan 13th. Bradley Hunt 14th. And our race controls, Jim Downham. Thank you, Jim. Didn't really have much to do tonight. These guys kept it clean, kept their noses clean, kept everybody from spinning. So congratulations once again to Ethan. Thanks to all of our first responders for coming out tonight, joining us at IRSS. And from the booth, from myself, Jay Downham, I'll talk to you next week as season winds down. So